do we artists actually understand how important storytelling is to us? Like, do we actually realize it? Because now take our time to understand over the years, the only way we have gotten to know about certain things and certain events that happened over the years, the fact that they were documented through art pieces. Like, do you understand me? The story about Queen Idia, the story about the Ivory Marks, the story about the Knock Art, Benin Art, Igoku Art, Ife Art, the story about this certain artists, Benewon, 277, the Zara Rebels, Leonardo da Vinci, Michelangelo, Picasso, and the Warhol, Van Gogh, Vincent Van Gogh. Like, the ways we're able to know that these guys actually worked and these guys actually put in their time and their effort is because of the kind of pieces they created. Funny enough, if you pay attention to their works, you will see that there were not much energy spent, or it's not filled up with so much details, but yet it's so filled up with so much depth. So much depth. Now, take out for instance now the story about the Mona Lisa by Leonardo da Vinci and how that work has affected generations. I don't think there's any generation of artists who don't know about Michelangelo globally. And in Africa or in Nigeria, I don't think there's any generation of artists who don't know Ben and Wong or who have not heard about the Zaria rebels. Maybe except those who didn't go to an art school or didn't go to the school of art. So, but how that has affected us over the years is the fact that we're able to know about this because those people intentionally preserve their work. Like they intentionally actually didn't joke with the way they perceived their work or the way they kept it for us to know. Like, just hold on a little bit. If, for instance, now we generation of artists are just concerned about following the trend or just being influenced by AI and ChatGPT and generating of images and all that, because now it's funny enough, many artists do that. You just generate an image and you just copy and paste. There is no that work of composing anymore. Personally, I call myself a composer. I'm a composer, yes. The way people compose songs, the way you have Hans Zimmer who composes an amazing melodious music, and all those theme songs from all these movies like Lion King, like Pirates of the Caribbean. I'm a composer. I compose my pieces. I don't just think about. That's why it takes me time before I create a personal project, because all my personal projects are coming from time and effort of research. Like I'm telling you, efforts of research. I don't just create my pieces for creating sake. No, 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 no. I take out time to ask questions, to go online. I write on yes, the way we have ChatGPT now. I write on that to search for blog posts and posts online over the years by certain people about a certain thing. Like there was a piece I created 1 year ago, I think 1926 or 1927. Yeah, I had to make research about that piece to know exactly what happened then about the tax policy and how the whites and the women started bantering and it was a fight and all that. Or story about the Civil War, which actually still applied into my personal pieces. Because I got to hear from my grandmom firsthand that my great grandfather, yeah, was a soldier in the war and how he was killed and everything. Those stories inspired me a lot. That currently my generation, when I'm as I am currently now, it affects my work. It affects my work because I don't just want my work to just be filled with just talking for talking's sake and something you look at and you're just saying, okay, it's fine. No, I don't want that response from my pieces. That is beautiful, it's fine. You should look at the work and understand, wow, this is time. That's why most time if you pay attention to my pieces, you would see that a lot of things are happening at the same time in my works. Like it's a gradual storytelling. You could see where it started and where it ended. It's not chaotic. It's not as if your eyes are displaced at the same time. No, that is how I express my thoughts. That's how I express my stories. Because I don't just want to create stories like over next generation to come when I'm no longer in this world. People will look at my works and be like, wow, this guy put in time into this work. This is what exactly he was saying. Because if you said the story of Vincent Van Gogh and how the experiences he had over the years, he was able to translate those stories into his paintings. That up to now, people relate to them. People can connect with his works. Not just the fact that it's beautiful, you could see time and effort and pain in those pieces. It was not created from a moment of comfort. It was created from a moment of thinking. But many of our generation of artists have lost that. We've lost that in our generation. Just want to create a piece, you just go online, search for reference, you combine the reference and you just you can combine references. You can go online to help your imagination. Yeah. That's why I think this generation still lacks something about imagination composition. I have a mentor of mine who was also a lecturer of mine in the university back days, Dr. Kenneth Nchoko. That man was a big pioneer of drawing from your mind and how it's important. Like making imaginative sketches, feeding your mind, and how to bring out those thoughts into existence. He created pieces that you could know that is not existing on earth just from the mind. But at the same time, many of our generation we've lost that already. We are very few who pay attention to stuff like that. So as much as possible, always put in the time, always make your researches, always make your discoveries. Personally, there's certain things people don't know about now that you can transcribe in your work and talk about in your works, and people will be like, so I never knew about this from a certain culture. Right on any culture that you are from, know about your past, know about where you're coming from, know about okay, they've taken the light already. We'll have to continue shooting. Know about where you're coming from. Know about okay how important this events that happened in my home. Many of us are not even connected to our root falling enough because there's no how I'll talk about this and not connect and there's no how you connect back to your root. You have to connect back to your root. Many of us don't travel back home, many of us don't ask questions, many of us don't have elders connected to us that we can actually call and ask, oh, what exactly happened in the village? Tell me about this festival, tell me about this event. There's certain things people have not talked about before. It's many. It's many. Very, very so much. So much. Even the events that are happening today, sir, you can see transfer them into your works. The events happening in Africa, the war and everything that's currently happening now, you can transfer them into your works. Speak. So that years to come, when we've left this world, they will look back on our pieces and they'll be like, yeah, so this was actually what happened. What happened. So that's it. Don't forget, you're created by the creator to create peace.